So let's check this out here. Actually, you know what? Real quick before we get into this, we are going to share this link in the live chat. Buddy Rabbit's going out, Buddy Rabbit. Hey, buddy. All right. 90s anime was a warning. All right, let's see what Trippy Soul decided to send to me.
90s were a time of change. The computer was becoming our era's defining machine, reshaping homes, institutions, and daily life.
Windows just makes your everyday work easier.
Between 1995 and 2000, the internet surged from 20 million to 300 million users by the decade's end.
Yes.
At this point, something had happened. The physical world began its retreat, and in came a new world, the digital world. When our world was quietly being enveloped by this new one, media and anime especially began to reflect this change. Again and again, we saw a repeated theme.
Okay, where's your money on this being a guy who's really kind of up his own butt about like the digital stuff or not? Because I could see this going one of two ways, making a very solid point or making it an up his own butt point, and I don't know which one it is yet.
Characters falling into a new digital world. Some of these realms were childlike, others a terrifying dystopia. But that's exactly what we're going to explore, because though these digital worlds differed, they shared a common thread of collective anxiety. And what I've realized is that these anime weren't just shows, they were warnings. Prophecies that had striking accuracy into our world today, in ways that aren't exactly comforting. So today, we're going to revisit 3 anime from this era to ask one simple question. Just how accurate were they in predicting our future?
I don't know, bro, but you need to talk faster than 30 freaking beats a sec or beats a minute, man. Like you need I usually don't like putting stuff on 2x speed, but I might have to do it for this one.
Before the entering of each show's version of the digital world, whether through a portal or some kind of computer system, we see that in one way, our characters already entered this world. You see, before their reality changes for good, each show's depiction of normal life is strikingly similar. We see a world that is firmly on the threshold of a new age. Thematically, in Yu-Gi-Oh! We see Domino City, something that resembles a near-future technology-embroidered metropolis, the battlefield backdrop of technology companies infighting, vying for control over the masses. But even the soundscape marks the coming of this new—
Wait, but how is that any different than what companies were doing for 50 years prior? Like, it's like, oh, these new digital tech companies were vying for people. Like, every company has done that. Major corporations have been doing that for over a century. What? That wasn't new in the 90s, dude. Like, this idea was not a new idea in the 90s.
New age in history. In serial experiment Lain, the landscape is a cacophony of typing, electrical hum of telephone wires, the monotony of computer fans. This is the sound of information being processed. And it calls out to Lain, whose face constantly holds an obtuse, vacant expression, as if caught in a shamanic trance. Not unlike us, she resembles an infant crawling into a new age, guided blindly, not knowing the pen we've been brought into. So too, when our characters are led into the digital world, they aren't escaping to a new realm or alternative reality. They're stepping into a vision of the future, an inevitable unfolding of the world.
Okay. I'm sorry. If you're gonna use Digimon, which is one of my favorite shows of all time, I have very much let my children know that Digimon is always better and will always be better than Pokemon. You're not going to basically tell me that an isekai, right, which is a genre of story that has been around for a very long time, that took children, right, into an adventurous world, resembled our world with its decay. It was not. It wasn't even developed. It was literally okay, let me give this guy.
They already inhabit. The digital world is not a separate place, but the full awakening to a system that's quietly swallowing everything. But we've spoken at length about this age of...
Okay, he's injecting a lot there. I can't speak. I can't speak on the Lain anime, so that's where I'm gonna have to be. Yeah, Chronicles of Narnia was an isekai where it dropped a bunch of children into a world that was undeveloped and they had to go and beat the bad guy. Like, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Clearly defining what it really is. Well, sociologists call this era we live in the informational society. Not just a society where information is valued, it's one where information is the very fabric of society. Put it this way, since the dawn of time, societies have used information and exogenous systems of knowledge to great effect. Like when the formal system of science we created is used to develop tools, which are used to extract materials from the earth. But now, information itself has become these raw materials. Productivity is based on access to data, software.
Hold on.
Now, information itself has become these raw materials. Productivity is based on access to data, software, algorithms, AI digital platforms. Economically, our biggest companies are Google, Meta, Amazon, who don't produce...
Okay. One, he's actually describing entertainment, which has been around for a long time. Bread and circuses, Rome and all that. Have you thought about Rome today, gentlemen? Probably time to fucking think about it, to use that year-old meme. He's talking about methods of entertainment here. Information has always been a coveted item in the world of warfare. If you are actually a student of history, you know that information and the people who hold the most information about the battlefield or about other things happening tend to win the wars, right? Those guys tend to be the more informed people tend to be the ones that win, right? You know, history's written by the victor. Yeah, it's also written by the guy that kind of knew more too. Like, oh man, I don't understand these systems. Do I need to sleep to level up? I don't know, dude. Yeah, okay, let's keep going on.
Use traditional goods. Instead, they process and sell information. Even physical products are marketed and sold using data analysis. AI systems trained on our information.
Oh, okay, that bothers me. That bothers me to a level. Oh God, what was his name? He was... Oh, crap. He was the father of modern consumer psychology. He was the guy that basically made breakfast popular in America. He came up with cigarette marketing and got women to actually smoke cigarettes and make it popular for women to smoke, to double that. Oh, God. What's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Why can't I think of his name? It's bothering me. Information. Bernays? Yes, Bernays. Is it Bernays? Is it Bernays? I can't remember. He's like 100 years ago. No. All of the stuff is just literally using models that has already existed. This idea that the stuff didn't exist before. Dude, did you not... Like, were you not around during that time period? Tabloid magazines, things that they would send you in the mail, the way that they would present information to you. Yes, it might have been on a physical media, but it was the exact same stuff. Technology, all it did... Milton, was it... I can't remember his name. I need to... King Trout did a video on him. I would have to go to King Trout's YouTube channel to find it. I can't... You know, he was the guy that marketed cigarettes to, like, women. He worked on... It was like 4,500 out of 5,000 doctors agree that breakfast is better for you in the morning in order to actually, like, sell a specific brand of bacon. Oh, yeah, it's Edward Bernays. Yeah, that guy. All they're doing is basically using the tactics that he established in the early 1900s. This is not new. Okay, let's keep
as well as our day-to-day lives, are they not too shaped by these systems? This is the world our heroes live in, and when they enter the digital world, it's not just a new landscape, it's a glimpse into our future. As our world changes, our institutions and even ourselves,
if it's a glimpse into our future and I get to run around with a fucking dinosaur that turns into a metal, like, night-looking dinosaur that throws freaking supernovas at people, I'm down. That's a great future.
Or like nodes in a vast network of information exchange. But this new shift brings new fears, new questions like, who controls this information? Can it be used against us? And is this new system...
Wait, you mean the same questions that we have literally always asked when we have found out that governments, corporations, and so on throughout history have hidden information from us, caused uprisings, and literally started wars based off of false pretenses? You mean the questions that we've always been asked? This guy's up his own ass.
The new world, really what we asked for.
Why did you pause again? I didn't tell you to pause.
Well, thankfully, our shows not only hinted at some of these questions, but in a way, they answered them. Once landing on the blue wireframe grid that is the digital world, our heroes soon face the forces that control this new dimension. And in doing so, reveal the forces that control our own world. But what do they look like? Well, as you'd expect, in each show there's clear or inferred reference to giant tech conglomerates. But it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Which offers the most strikingly prophetic vision of the future. Appearing in 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh!'s virtual world-based arcs are the antagonists known as the Big Five, who are corporate executives for Kyber Corp, a giant tech...
So, do you know where we got the idea of corporate a-holes being bad guys? Just out of curiosity. Maybe the last, 100 years before that, where corporate assholes were a-holes. He's like, this is so prophetic. They made corporation owners who only wanted to extract money from people to make themselves rich look like bad guys. And I'm like, yeah, but where did they get that idea from? Because it wasn't even new at the time the show was airing.
Company. The fact that the writers chose to use this epithet for the giant corporations dominating the internet long before...
Oh, dude, he could have literally put... Why is Facebook not up there? Huh? Why is Facebook not up there? Why is X not up there? Right? Why is Tencent not there? What? Why? Why is Temu not up there? Why is TikTok not up there? Come on. He literally was like, I'm just going to pick the most recognizable things to prove a point that legitimately... to prove this point that it's all this brand new stuff with tech. Why didn't you put, I don't know, what was it, US Oil that Rockefeller owned? Carnegie. Put him up there. Oh, that's right, because the audience that you're watching doesn't actually know about that. So Ford for crying out loud. The guy tried to build his own town, Fordlandia, down in South America. What was it, the U.S. Fruit Company that started the Banana Wars, where we get the term the Banana Republic from? Why not put them up there? That's right, because you're communicating to an audience that doesn't understand history and is going to watch this and think, oh my God, it's all because computers. It's all because computers, guys. Get bent. They changed it to Chiquita. Yes, they changed the logo to Chiquita. This is hilarious.
Before the term was applied to today's 5 major tech companies, reveals the exact fears of that era: corporate monopolization.
And he didn't. Oh, finally, he puts the Facebook logo up there. Oh, that's right, because that was the Meta logo. Yeah. Why is Tencent not up there? Sony? Anybody? Okay. No? Okay.
And control. But no one embodies these fears more than the former head of the Big Five, Gozaburo Kaiba, before his son and our favourite anime antagonist took over and turned Kaiba Corp into a gaming company. It was actually a military technology firm, and there's a reason for that. With Gozaburo owning a company that supplies destructive weapons, develops satellites, and even possesses virtual reality technology, it's been made clear that he represents the military-industrial complex.
But how could they make somebody represent the military-industrial complex unless it already existed prior to the show actually become the fuck on, dude? I don't. So why is Tony Stark? I don't know, dude. I don't. Yeah.
This is the type of tech tyrant whose power goes well beyond the private sector, offering their digital infrastructure to fuse private interests with state power and attain even greater control.
You mean like Rockefeller and Carnegie did? Or like the U.S. Fruit? Was it U.S. Fruit? Was that what they were called? I forget. They're Chiquita Banana now, but I know who I'm talking about. Oh my God. He is literally talking about this like this is a new concept, and it's not. This has literally been around for the East India Trading Company did this shit. Oh, you mean the thing from Pirates of the Caribbean? No, I mean the actual real company that this crap was based off of. Oh, no. Wait. I swear to fuck if this guy gets to the point where he goes, if this guy says, and history repeats itself at the end of this video, I will give him credit. I will take back everything that I am saying about him right now. Right now, I think this is a guy who has never studied history a day in his life. If he makes a historical reference in this video, because we're only 6 minutes in out of a 16-minute video, and he hasn't said a thing about historical reference or things that exactly like this that have happened in the past. If he says by the end, and history repeats itself, I will take back everything that I'm saying. Up to this point, I think that he is probably an ignorant young millennial or an ignorant Gen Zer who thinks that he has stumbled upon the secrets to society.
The military-industrial complex isn't just about building weapons for the state. Their alliance shapes the very systems that govern our daily lives. And while the military-industrial complex gave birth to the internet, today's digital overlords are leveraging infrastructure to expand their reach far beyond what we see on screen. As a recent example, take Palantir, a data mining and analytics company born from military intelligence, now powering federal systems. From law enforcement to the IRS, using behavioral models and psychological profiling, using data to flag people, not just for what they've done, but for what they might do. These are the powers that control this new world. And Gozaburo is the face of this new regime, showing up as a giant head in a purple cloud. So cartoonish and over the top it feels straight out of a pantomime. He resembles the Wizard of Oz, a projection of unfathomable control. So extensive it's...
Buddy Rabbit for $20. Thank you so much, man. If he says time is a flat circle, he's a fart huffer. I need historic citations for this to make any sense, and he needs to provide direct correlation from these narratives to history that inspired those things. I agree. Hey, Bosco Scenario. All is very well, man. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Seen as laughable. Yet here, there's no curtain to draw, no convenient rug to pull away. This is who controls this realm, and the pantomime has become reality. What? See, even in the more juvenile shows from this period, like Digimon, they show a strong awareness of the shadowy circles who control this new world. As we see alongside the evil Digimon Vamdimon, who uses Masonic imagery. hinting toward the presence of a hidden cabal shaping our reality. Yet another explicit reference is made when Digimon invokes a phrase to break the barrier between the digital and real world. Tion Ukbar Orbis Tertius. This is the title of a real-life short story, in which a secret society invents an entirely fictional world based on idealist philosophy, which eventually begins to overwrite reality itself. Idealism, put simply, is the philosophical view that reality is fundamentally mental, or dependent on the mind. And it's here that we arrive at the next fear these stories explore. If we know who runs the digital world, what exactly is it? While the previous reference that was just made happens to be incredibly insightful...
It's not a digital world, it's literally a communication method. And the people who built the infrastructure for the communication method control the communication method. It's not that hard. This is not that deep. Holy fuck, dude. I almost broke my glasses for a second time.
in answering this, because the idea of an idealist society directly mirrors the structure of our modern informational society that I mentioned earlier, where reality is increasingly shaped not by the physical, but by data, symbols, and systems of thought. You see,
or you could replace all that jargon he said with the information you as a person have at the present. That has always been true. Guess what? Newspapers back in the day used to do this thing called yellow journalism. You know why? To shape your perception of reality based off of how they would present that. Go look up how old yellow journalism is. You're acting as if, like, this is something new, and it's not. Buddy Rabbit for $5. Correlation does not imply causation. Parallelomania, haven't said that word in a long time, requires proof. Bro, Google academics out here making Reddit scholars sweat. Please tell me I'm not, well, they're still doing it, Mike Has Bad Knees, which your name still insults me. Every time I read your name, my knees hurt, and I don't like that because I'm getting old, bro. I'm trying not to get old, and I'm doing well. I'm 33. I'm doing well trying not to get old, but man, there are days I wake up and I'm just like, oh God, this is what it feels like to not be 18 anymore. Anyway, moving on.
The informational society is one where, like we said, the flow of data and information becomes the DNA and lifeblood of society. This is eerily close to idealism, where reality is based on thought, where ideas are more real and impactful than the physical. So, what these shows seem to be saying is that the informational society we live in may end up rejecting the physical world entirely, evolving, becoming a kind of cybernetic idealism. In serial experiment Lain, this becomes disturbingly literal. Teenagers begin to unalive themselves, abandoning their physical forms entirely to live inside the wired. But the warning goes deeper, because this isn't just about escape.
I'm sorry. People diving into an alternate reality goes back to people losing themselves into books, novels, movies, comic books, and so many other creations. This is not new because we've changed the medium in which we experience it, which is the digital medium. Like, this has been a thing. Escapism has been a thing, and sometimes chronic escapism, where people want to go so far into it that they literally just try to avoid reality in its entirety, has been a thing for how many years now? Oh God, I fucking hate internet philosophers. They piss me off.
About the fact that this new reality already has its rulers. Those who laid its foundations, bought up the digital land, and shaped the infrastructure before most even knew it existed. And when society is built like this, not on matter but on ideas, on data, images, and constant flows of information, Its structure no longer
That's
looks
literally all society has ever been built on. Societies throughout history are built on groups of people who have common values, common worldviews, and they come together and they go, maybe we should put these rocks together and build a city here. What is this guy talking about? Society has always been built on collective and communicative information since the dawn of society.
the same. It begins to look more like a mind, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Because whoever controls this mind controls reality itself.
Like the yellow journalism back in the day, like all of the like the governments that have hidden information from people. How is this any different than the rest of history? God, I hate people who are like, oh, we live in such a special time. No, we don't. I'm sorry. We don't live in a special time. History has a way of repeating itself. Just because you're alive today does not make today any more special than the day that your grandfather was alive when he was your age. Stop it.
Itself. You see, a mind operates more like a network. A network is decentralized.
You mean like a neural network? No, okay.
Made of nodes that are all connected and constantly exchanging. But by consequence of participating in this network, we risk exposure. After all, this network isn't ours. No longer is our security a spatial concept located in certain institutions like a prison or a school, but it now looks more like a mist or atmosphere. Merely living is enough to be surveyed. And this new way of living has even more dreadful implications. It creates what is called a panopticon effect. Being in an interconnected system, we are made naked, but those who watch.
I love how he uses big words for people who have never heard them before in order to try to validate his point where he has provided no proof. All of this has been internet philosophy garbage, and he has not provided any backing information outside of making incredibly loose connections this entire time. I like the part where he said naked. You would, Caro, you would.
Just remain hidden. In fact, this system was long envisioned before the internet even existed. Originally imagined by Jeremy Bentham in his concept of the panopticon prison, due to its psychological effect. And the idea goes like this. A surveyed subject is not just watched, but because they don't know if they're being watched, they begin to monitor themselves. You effectively become your own god, within a system that exposes every detail about you. Where you are, what you're thinking, what you search for, who you talk to.
That is the only historical reference that he has given, and he didn't even dive into the full concept.
Even what you hesitate to click on. This leverage and power is embodied by Gozaburo from Yu-Gi-Oh! After ending his life and entering the digital world, he realizes he no longer needs to escape. The depths of his power here is now infinite. In this idealist state, control is amplified, where the simple use of one's mind can manifest power anywhere, any time. With an omniscient view of reality enabled by advanced technology, certain companies or individuals could almost become godlike. It's why Masahiro Ira in Lain
having a level of information that has been distilled down to you by systems that you have created is not tantamount to being godlike. I'm sorry. When one of these motherfuckers can create a planet in his hand, well fuck, he's godlike. Having a level of information and control over society is not godlike, never has been, right? That has always been a thing.
Wishes to merge the barrier between the digital and physical worlds, so that, as one of its creators, he can appear anywhere and wield godlike power. Though this may sound like a dramatic anime plot device, these characters reflect the real aims of various technocrats becoming gods through the digital world. Take Zbigniew Brzezinski, a prominent political scientist and national security advisor to the United States president, who spoke exactly of these aims. The impact of technology involves the gradual appearance of a more controlled and directed society. Such a society would be dominated by an elite whose claims to political power would rest on allegedly superior scientific know-how, using the latest modern techniques for influencing public behavior and keeping society under close surveillance and control.
Yeah, that's not godlike power, dude. That's called an oligarchy. And guess what? It's been done before.
But though we've explained how this new world seems to be controlled by powerful, shadowy entities, who have found new ways to grant themselves godhood, we must ask, why on earth would we want to enter this new world? Or if it's inevitable, what should be our goal with it? While further in during their stay at the digital world, each show introduces a new archetype. The cyberpunk, someone who works to free the digital world out of the hands of the tech giants for whatever use they see fit. In Serial Experiment Lain, this archetype manifests.
Is this guy actually saying that the internet is like another plane of existence? Because the way that he is talking about this, I'm like, I don't think he recognizes that this is literally just the modern day piece of paper. You know, how we changed from putting shit on cave walls and writing shit on some stone, and then we're like, fuck, we can look at this paper. Paper's so nice. We write on paper. Paper good write on. And now we're just like, hey bro, I got a digital thingy here. It's just code. We write in code now. Or does he actually think that Facebook is another existence? A place that we can go and... Fuck, dude, we're not in the Matrix yet. Maybe we are. I don't know. I don't understand what this guy's point is. I have no idea.
Says the Knights, who, though against the large tech corporations, align with similar goals, attempting to use the digital world as a form of transcendence. It's perhaps Digimon which, surprisingly, has the most sensible answer to this question of what to do. Although Digimon presents a less ominous view of the digital world, warning mainly against viruses through...
Okay, if I'm downplaying the internet a little bit, please explain to me how the internet is more than just a communication device. Can it be an addictive communication device? But all it is sending something for somebody on the other end to receive it. No different than a piece of paper was back in the day. It's just easier to be accessed now because you don't have the delay in transfer. We've effectively eliminated the delay in transfer.
The personification of evil Digimon. It nonetheless acknowledges a larger struggle. Rather than depicting a full merger between humanity and technology, it proposes something different, symbiosis. Using tech to enhance our lives without compromising our humanity. Yet there's still an evolutionary angle. Those who fail to embrace the technological advancement risk becoming obsolete, like the ultimate antagonist, a Pokemon, described in the show as code that failed to adapt and thus become obsolete. A realization which causes a profound nihilism, but perhaps not a false one. Is our world merely a choice between transcending our physical body with tech, or risk becoming obsolete? It's a difficult problem, one mankind has never faced, but it also seems inevitable. What we do have control over is how we proceed. Is the digital world a conduit of transformation? If transcendence presents too many problems, should it perhaps be a tool toward the same ends? Or is this a false question entirely? Is using machines to solve moral problems, or using them as an arc toward a new human ontology, A modern and misguided heresy? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and I'm sure you all have many different answers.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck the plows that we invented using technology. You know, that was bad. And then, you know, using technology to, I don't know, come up with better ideas on how to, you know, ship things across the planet, you know, get things where they need to go. Dude, he wanted to hear your thoughts, dude. I'll share this with you guys just out of respect for the channel. That was probably one of the biggest videos that has said, so he's got 8,000 subscribers. And here's the thing is I expect a lot of people to do this with my channel. Usually when I see how little someone's channel is, I usually bow out of it. I don't watch it because it shows that not a lot of people want to subscribe to it. I would say the same thing. I guess it depends on how you define the internet. At its base level, it's just a medium of communication. But what is being communicated? How is it being utilized? Makes it into something more. Like fucking paper. Like newspapers back in the day. I could say that about all of the communication devices that we have used throughout history that have been used to lie, manipulate, and cheat people from proper information. This is nothing new. I don't actually know what this guy was trying to say outside of internet scary. Outside of internet scary, I don't know what dude was trying to say.